Someone shared that the word people is just a deceptive flag used by the CCP, who has been committing all kinds of evil deeds and seeking to conceal and whitewash them in the name of the people. Someone shared this video clip and noted that this house was built more than 260 years ago and that it was considered a cultural relic, yet it was forcibly demolished. Someone replied, it escaped the Japanese army, the Civil War, but failed to escape the CCP's demolition. Someone replied, it was demolished because it was not the party's property, but ordinary Chinese people's. Someone shared that the director of the Urban and Real Estate Economy Research Unit in the Institute of Finance and Trade Economics at the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, Li Pengfei, once said, low housing prices prevent young people from working hard and causes them to lose motivation. Recently, someone sought to clarify this by saying that it is typically assumed that in communist China, 2% of the elite controls 98% of the wealth in society, but the CCP has an even more ambitious agenda. It intends to let the 2% have total control over 120% of the wealth, while making the remaining 98% of the people owe 28% of debt. Someone shared that recently China imported rice from India for the first time in 30 years. Someone was confused and wondered, I remember that not long after the Sino-Indian border conflict took place, the CCP sent 5,000 tons of rice to India in the name of so-called economic assistance. But now, why did it decide to buy those rice back? Someone replied, at the present, 70% of food in China rely on foreign imports. Someone shared that China has reached a mutual currency exchange agreement with Zimbabwe. The process of renminbi internationalization has been again accelerated. Someone replied, there is no currency in Zimbabwe, generally US dollars are used. Someone replied, Zimbabwe has been controlled by the CCP's tobacco system. Zimbabwe's cannabis exports are almost 3 times that of tobacco. Someone shared that on the afternoon of December 3rd, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo met with representatives of several groups persecuted by the CCP, including those representing Tibetans, Uyghurs, Mongolians, Hong Kongers, and Falun Gong practitioners. This is the first time that such a meeting took place. Someone shared this picture and said that it appears he injured his right foot, but also used it to support his entire body. Someone replied, I had a cracked ankle bone in high school and had difficulty walking within half a year. My son twisted his ankle while playing basketball and had to use crutches for a week. How ridiculous is it that Biden was able to stand on his so-called injured foot? Someone joked, Biden was found walking with his right foot today. Would it be possible that tomorrow he will announce that it was actually his left foot that was injured? Someone compared these two pictures, showing that Biden appeared with his left foot injured on November 30th. Someone shared that a friend called me and said, don't talk nonsense about Biden committing voter fraud. You have to show evidence to prove your claim. If there is no evidence, don't say it. You have to be responsible for your freedom of speech. Don't say Trump is the chosen one online every day anymore. And this netizen mentioned that he replied by saying, I have no direct evidence, but I am willing to take legal responsibility for what I say. Someone replied, so many hearings on voter fraud have taken place and mounting evidence has been presented, despite the fact that the mainstream media never reported on them. But what kind of evidence do they still want to see to believe that fraud did occur in this election?
This table, the black one, was placed there by the lady with the blonde braids at about 8:22 a.m. in the morning. So she put that table there. So the same person who's staying behind now, the same person who cleared the place out under the pretense that we're going to stop counting, is the person who put the table there at 8:22 in the morning. Yeah, I saw 4 suitcases come out from underneath the table.
Someone shared that in Georgia, after 10 o'clock in the evening, the person in charge of vote counting asked everyone to leave. She and 3 other people stayed behind and dragged out a few suitcases from beneath the tables. They left more than 2 hours later. Someone noted that the period that this video was taken place corresponds exactly to the period when Biden's total votes drastically increased. Someone shared this video clip from the election fraud hearing in Michigan.
What is your point of order?
Point of order
is to have them under oath.
You're out of order. As I've said, this is something that is not done here in this state.
It may not be done under the state, but you're allowing people to come in here and lie, and I know they're lying.
Representative, you're out of order. I've indulged you, but you're out of order, and we're going to move on.
On behalf of my witnesses, I would like to point out that every single witness we've presented here has sworn an affidavit as to all of these facts.
And so...
Representative, please, I gave you some room there, but we're going to move on. We're going to go
May
now.
I say something, please?
Sure.
If that is what you want me to do, I would do it. And I will still repeat the exact same thing I watched. And you know what? I also want to say one thing. If it is a lie, it may change because a liar has to have a lot of memory power. If it is truth, you can ask me in the middle of the night, it will still be the same.
All right.
Someone shared that I recently spoke with a friend from Silicon Valley in California. He is well respected in the local Chinese community. He and more than 20 people recounted the votes for 2 weeks and found that the problem of the software changing the name of the votes was very serious. They recalculated 6% of the votes among 2 million voters and found that the software had lowered Trump's actual votes. Upon finding this out, many of the Democratic Party's supporters were silent. Even his own ultra-left son had nothing to say. Someone shared that there are signs that more and more companies are leaving California. He worried that Kelly may follow the Choi's footsteps in the near future. Although the information and news space has been dominated by the left-wing media, ordinary people have taken a different and very creative approach to make their voices heard. For example, by putting up posters on the shop windows. Someone replied, "No media outlet can ever control the hearts and will of the American people."
Child, we will take you in. Child, we will bring you home. You'll be a flower that sees the spring. Soon a dove flying high.